Welcome back to me and Marcus's channel. So today we're going to be try not to laugh, people celebrating too early, and before we get started, click that subscribe button, turn all notifications on so you can get all of our videos that we post.
And like the video and subscribe.
Okay. So, Marcus, you start the video.
And check out our channel with Irene Hansen. It doesn't have any subscribers.
Really good idea to celebrate anything ahead of time because sometimes at the very last second, everything can come crashing down in flames, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And to make matters worse,
There's no points for this one.
Okay.
Because if they celebrate too early, it's not actual trend.
It's true that people will always remember the sports person with the most style. However, style isn't likely to be the thing that wins you Olympic gold medals. Snowboarder Lindsay Jacobellis will be keen to tell you that. She learned that lesson the hard way back at the 2006 Winter Olympics in the snowboard cross event. She was the reigning world champion at the time and a clear favorite. And she proved that quickly by taking an incredible lead pretty much straight out of the gate. With only 2 jumps to go, way out in front. So she decided to add some flair to her victory in an event that doesn't give points for style. It didn't pay off. Always win first and add style later. This early celebration is something you might not immediately notice, but that's why I'm here. We've seen this before.
Okay, that's just weird.
Celebrate what he thinks is a victory while the ball finds its way into the net. It's always funny, but this one is extra special because this goalkeeper had no reason to celebrate that hard. He didn't save that ball. The player just missed the goal. It's fine to be happy, but having a whole parade is a really disproportionate response here. It's always nice to see a cocky goalkeeper put in his place.
Yeah. I feel good. I feel.
The NBA is one of the world's most popular sports leagues, and it really isn't hard to see why. It's filled with amazing moments of skill and dexterity, and moments like this. The wonderful thing about this game is the attitude the players bring to it. Here, Nick Young celebrates this three-point shot with an amazing amount of swagger. So much swag, in fact, that he didn't know he missed the shot. But it's not like that's the only time that's happened in NBA history, and it's not like Young has the most attitude in the sport either. Case in point, Kemba Walker. We can all learn a life lesson from this runner. Always try your best. He's so certain he can't be beaten that not only does he start telling the crowd to cheer for his victory way before he's anywhere near the finish line, he's also smart enough to be practically jogging the last few feet. It's a beautiful moment because he has no idea that the crowd isn't cheering him on. They're cheering for his opponent, who's rapidly gaining on him from behind. Just look at his face when he realizes he was beaten. He's so annoyed with the winner. Just run faster. Drifting is known as one of the most difficult things you can do with a car. That definitely makes it an achievement worthy of celebration, but it also means that you must watch.
I thought I could have to do the video, guys.
See? Rather keep your hands on the wheel and wave to your adoring fans after the car has stopped moving, or there might not be a car left to wave from. It's great to play your sport with showmanship, but as in every industry, it's important that you don't go too far, because then you start playing with style over substance. So Selby goes for one of the highs of his career. After all, nobody can stop him now. Oh, except himself. You can always get in your own way. Did you ever have that moment when writing exams when you thought you were finished, then looked around and realized you'd missed a page? Now imagine that, but instead you're in an international cycling competition. Luka Pibernik thought he'd won, and you can't fault his logic. He had crossed the finish line. The only problem was it wasn't the last lap of the race. He realized his mistake when he looked back and saw how hard everyone else was cycling, and no, in the end, he didn't win. The funniest thing about this football fail is actually the crowd. Karim Balut was actually offside when he made his shot for the goal. The ball went in the net, and he decided that was enough for a celebration, and never bothered to find out otherwise before running off toward his adoring crowd to celebrate. And they just cheered and jumped with them. They must have realized it was offside. They weren't facing away from the field like him. Are they just humoring him? Is it wishful thinking? Someone really should have told him. Winning is great, but the problem with being the person who is always ahead of the pack is that you don't have the right perspective to be able to learn from others. Ricardo Russo encountered that problem here. If he had a few people out in front of him, he'd have realized that there was still one lap to go instead of abandoning the race to celebrate a victory that wasn't won yet. It takes the poor guy ages to realize everyone else was still racing. His racing skills are fine, now he just needs to work on counting.
No, he's punching the air, he's celebrating, I think, and I think this race is still going on here, and he hasn't realised.
When you win a major championship, the first thing you want to do is celebrate with your team and family waiting for you on the sidelines. It's very important that you remember to cross the finish line first, though. That was Bjorn Wertheim's only mistake. He was way out in front and only moments away from the checkered flag, but that's not going to help if you come to a stop at that point like he did.
In fact, slows by his pitch, he slowed too early.
He only realized his mistake when his opponent came past him at lightning speed. Too late. He came second, but I don't think his team wanted to join in that celebration after the first one he tried to start. If you're a baseball fan, you'll know all about the freeze. This fan had a chance to race the mysterious man during a match between Atlanta and the New York Mets, and he got a huge head start too, which might have helped him if he hadn't been so sure of himself. Right near the finish line to invite adoration from the crowd. What's that saying about the bigger they are, the harder they fall? Well, his head was definitely big enough, and it did fall pretty far, so I guess that saying is true. We're usually advocates for the sentiment to go big or go home, and that's probably not true if what you're going big on is a premature celebration. This World Series poker player knows that now. He went all out in celebration of a $1 million win and made sure to seriously rub his win in his opponent's face, shouting, prancing around, ripping off his cardigan, and throwing it on the floor, which to start with is an odd choice of clothing if that's what you're going to be doing, but that wasn't the big problem with his huge private party. The real mistake was that he chose to celebrate before the final card was dealt. But to be fair, there was only one card that could lead to a win for his opponent. Never forget, it can really come back to bite you, and if you're going to celebrate like this, you're probably going to regret it. These embarrassing moments pop up all the time.
That's the end of the video. Bye.